We traveled to a remote Indian reserve recently. It was called Chimnasing in Ojibwe, and it means Big Island. The island is called Christian Island, and it sits on Georgian Bay in Lake Huron. You have to take a ferry to get there. And the Ojibwe people who form the Beausoleil First Nation invited us down to run a week-long storytelling workshop. My job was to introduce their adult education class to traditional oral storytelling skills. Now, if you've never set foot on a remote reservation, you wouldn't know that time has a different feel there. There's a looseness to it that lends itself to a great unfurling at the edges, that lends itself to long walks in the trees or staring out into the depths of those stark, deep nights. But that's just the romantic notion. It was a challenge for us to be there. Neither of us has a lot of experience with remote reservations, and we found that our perceptions were clouded by the life of convenience we're fortunate to lead. We lead full lives. We have good jobs. We made supper one night from items we bought at the local store. A small bag of microwave chicken wings, a can of beans, and some taco chips. That was the whole list, and it cost us $24.99. We were shocked. We wondered if you had to feed a family of 4, how much a supper would cost. But that's the reality of life on Canada's remote reservations, that people don't ever get a chance to see or hear about. Everything has to be transported, especially for those remote reserves, and the costs shoot up unbelievably. Try $12 for a jug of milk or an $8 loaf of bread. Then, aside from the romantic idea of long walks in the bush, there's absolutely nothing to do, especially for the youth. Unemployment is chronic, and unless you work for the band administration or programs, there's little else. Malaise is chronic, unrelenting. Malaise is the key feature of those communities. I doubt that most Canadians know about that. Malaise doesn't rank high in demographic surveys, but for Native people on remote reservation, it's the nature of their lives. And in a country that calls itself progressive in the field of human rights, that shouldn't happen here. That's a stultifying thing, and stultifying is a 10-pound word for how it feels out there. Heavy, onerous, draining. How's that for a romantic notion? I'm Richard Wagamese, and until next week, this is One Native Life.